Good news if you're a Detroit Lions fan. They just signed Taylor Decker, their star offensive tackle that got robbed during the Cowboys game. Just got signed to a 3-year, $60 million contract extension. He's one of the best offensive tackles in the league, and just in general, the Lions have just a dominant, elite O-line, so this is definitely a good contract to give one of your star players and franchise foundational players. And just good news if you're Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, especially if you're Jahmyr Gibbs, since he's going to be around probably a lot longer than Montgomery. This O-line should be pretty solid for the next 3 years at least, man. Kind of reminds me of what the Cowboys were back in 2015, 2016 when they had Zeke. 2017, 2018 when they had Zeke. And that dominant O-line with Collins, Martin, Travis Frederick, Ronald Leary, Tyron Smith, when they're just like an elite O-line for the longest time. It's just kind of like what the Lions are right now. They have an elite O-line, and they just really oppose their will on a weekly basis against NFL teams, and that's why they're so successful, especially last year. They're just really winning the battles in the trenches, and I just really feel like this O-line could be the top dog for the next little bit, and I just think that's great because that's really key to winning a Super Bowl, man. It's really key. It's a big reason why Mahomes lost to Brady in that one Super Bowl. Mahomes was running for his life the whole game. They couldn't stop anybody, and then that offseason they actually started to address the O-line, and then Mahomes has been back to back killing it ever since. So never a bad thing to address the trenches and to really lock your guys up, and just a major win for the Lions. Let me know if y'all like this contract. Did they pay too much? Is it the perfect price? In my opinion, if you have a star offensive tackle, doesn't matter what the price is, you gotta pay him, and I think that's exactly what they did here. And yeah, overall, just good day for Dan Campbell and the city of Detroit. Now, another star offensive tackle that needs a contract is Tristan Wirfs of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, another elite guy since being drafted by the Bucs in 2020, I believe. Super Bowl champion. Big reason why the Bucs went on that run and got that Super Bowl, just because offensive tackles are really valuable, man. Really valuable, and he was a big piece to that championship team. And just to the franchise right now of Tampa Bay, like he's a franchise pillar there right now. So there was a report earlier today that apparently they are miles apart on a contract, and I'm sure they'll get it done. There was a ton of reports of Baker Mayfield being a free agent and not going to re-sign with the Bucs, and the same thing with longtime Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend, Hall of Famer Mike Evans. There was a lot of reports saying that, yeah, he's gone, they're disrespecting him, blah blah blah, and they did wait until the very last minute to offer him a fair contract, or the contract he deserves, but ultimately they got it done, and I think ultimately they will pay Tristan Wirfs, because it's really rare for elite offensive tackles, to hit free agency. That just doesn't happen in the NFL. It's like a star quarterback hitting free agency. We might see it with Dak Prescott, maybe, but offensive tackles, elite players, it just does not happen. So if you're a Bucs fan, if you're a Tristan Wirfs fan, I think you just got to give it some time, and they will pay him because it's the logical thing to do. There is no other option. You pay your tackles. It's pretty black and white. It's simple, and I'm sure they will at some point. Now, back to the Lions. There was a report probably a couple days ago. The first week of training camp has obviously kicked off. But this report was about Jameson Williams, and he's apparently looked really good, and quote, routinely he's getting open and making plays. The guy has had a lot of potential since getting drafted, obviously suspensions and whatnot, and he hasn't really had a lot of time on the field, but I really think this could be his breakout year finally. Obviously, super athletic guy, does have some speed, and I'm excited to see him play this year, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Just to add another weapon because they lost Josh Reynolds. He went to the Broncos, so they definitely need someone to step up to kind of take some production away from St. Brown and just kind of like help him out. I'm not saying Josh Reynolds was like an elite player or anything. He obviously wasn't, but he made plays, man. He made hella plays, so I think Jameson Williams could be a better version of Josh Reynolds. I just think he has a lot more potential. And like I said, he hasn't had a lot of time on the field, so I feel like he's still pretty fresh and ready to go. And yeah, if you're into fantasy football, I would definitely take a flyer on him. Low risk, high reward player, and it's excited to see him play this year, man. We're officially 3 days out, technically, whenever you're listening to this video, away from the Hall of Fame game and the NFL season officially kicking off. You should be super hyped for that. If you're not, I do get it. It's just a Hall of Fame game, but man, I've been craving ball for a minute now, and I'm just really glad it's back, man. I'm really glad it's back. I'm sure you're glad too. Let me know what y'all think about the Taylor Decker deal. Do you think Tristan Wirfs is going to get signed? How good do you think the Lions are going to be this year? I really think it's going to be a cutthroat division in the NFC North. The Packers are coming for blood, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those matchups, man. Especially those rivalry matchups, Lions-Bears, Packers-Lions. You know, they're always close games. Lions-Vikings, like, the Bears could have easily beat the Lions twice last year, and they had a pretty significantly weaker roster than they have right now. So it's going to be pretty interesting, man. The Lions kind of cakewalked more or less last year to being the NFC North champs. I don't think it's going to be the same route this year. I really think it's going to be cutthroat. I think it's going to be really tight and intense and back and forth, and I'm really looking forward to that. Let me know who y'all think's going to win the NFC North, and yeah, that's all I got for right now. Peace.